Good morning and thanks for joining us for the Daily Rundown. I'm Ray Bogan. President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy meet to discuss the debt ceiling. Will New Mexico become the first state in the country to have an official aroma? And a couple of fun facts about Punxsutawney Phil for this Groundhog Day. This is Straight Arrow News, unbiased, straight facts. Breaking overnight, the U.S. and the Philippines agreed to increase America's military presence in the country. The U.S. will now have access to 4 more military bases there. This is in an effort to deter China as the country's leaders consider invading Taiwan and continue to expand in the South China Sea. The joint announcement also says the militaries will work to improve combined training, exercises, and operations. The U.S. will make an $82 million investment in the country's military infrastructure. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has been in Asia all week. On Tuesday, he announced the U.S. will send more advanced weapons to the Korean Peninsula, including fighter jets and bombers. The House of Representatives will vote today on a resolution to remove Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar from the Foreign Affairs Committee. Republican leadership expects it will pass. The House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said she should be taken off the committee because of statements she's made about Israel and 9/11. That includes equating the United States and Israel to Hamas and the Taliban. Omar's fellow Democrats condemned her statements, but when it comes to the Foreign Affairs Committee, they have her back, and she says she's sorry.
Whatever our disagreements might be as members of Congress, policy differences alone have not and must not be cause for eliminating someone from serving on a committee.
A few Republicans are expected to vote against the resolution. They say Omar deserves more due process and that this could become a tit for tat after Democrats removed Republicans from their committees last Congress. McCarthy also removed Congressman Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell from the Intelligence Committee. President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy met for more than an hour yesterday to discuss the debt ceiling. There were no agreements or promises, but Speaker McCarthy said it was a productive conversation, and he thinks they can find common ground. The U.S. hit its $31.4 trillion debt ceiling January 19th. That means the government can't borrow any more money to pay its bills unless Congress gives approval. But without an increase, the U.S. would default on its debt. So far this fiscal year, the federal government has spent $421 billion more than it has collected.
The current path we're on, we cannot sustain. We got to change the directory to put ourselves on a path to balance. How we get there will be our discussions.
The White House said in a statement, President Biden made clear that, as every other leader in both parties in Congress has affirmed, it is their shared duty not to allow an unprecedented and economically catastrophic default. The California Department of Water Resources says the state's Sierra snowpack is 205% above normal for this time of year. It's even 128% above its April average, which is when the snow level is highest. The state snow survey manager says it's exactly what California needs to help break from its ongoing drought. Snowpack provides about 1/3 of the state's water supply. There are some concerns about flooding when it starts to melt. The state will have to take steps to mitigate those risks. There are official state colors, state animals, state mottos, and even state bugs. But New Mexico may become the first state in the nation to have an official aroma. Lawmakers in the land of enchantment want to give that title to roasted chili. They say it's a distinctive scent that can be found in nearly every recipe, from breakfast burritos to red chili lattes. It's also the state's signature crop. In 2021, 60% of chili peppers produced in the U.S. came from New Mexico. Well, folks, it's the day we have all been waiting for since winter began. Today is Groundhog Day, and Punxsutawney Phil has predicted there will be 6 more weeks of winter. The Groundhog Club that hosts the event says Phil is correct 100% of the time. Meteorologists say he's right about 50% of the time. Some fun facts about Phil: he is married to Phyllis, and they have no children. Incredibly, Punxsutawney Phil has been making these predictions since 1886, and it's this reporter's observation that he hasn't aged a day. Thanks for watching the Daily Rundown with Straight Arrow News. We're on a mission to bring back trustworthy journalism by only serving you, not an agenda. We'll be back with more news this afternoon. Until then, I'm Ray Bogan. Have a safe day and a great day.